Thinking back on my experience as an instructor, I would say that the predominant teaching methods I used were based on behaviorist principles, sprinkled with some from other learning theories. At the time, however, I was not consciously aware that the methodologies I was employing came from these different epistemologies. I had never even heard the word before. What guided my teaching was basically replicating the style of which I had become most accustomed to learning in. It took until early in the PIDP to start to connect the dots of what I was doing in the classroom to the different learning theories. I say my classes leaned very much behaviorist as the learning took place in a classroom where I was the subject matter expert standing on a raised platform delivering content to my students who were newly hired employees of the company being trained in the use of our software. As the instructor, I was responsible for the dispensation of knowledge, and the role of my students were to learn so that they could perform their job. Each day there was content delivery and structured application, and at the end of the course there was an evaluation that consisted of a standardized test and a demonstration of their applied skills. Whilst the model was behaviorist-centric, there was much consideration to cognitivist underpinnings in the hope of capitalizing on enduring memory retention. One of my favorite ways of doing this was using some gamification, like Jeopardy and Kahoots, to help with recall. Another cognitivist technique I would use at the start of a new unit was performing a knowledge background probe. This handy little nugget was a great way not only to glean what students already knew, but it also primed the brain for what was about to come, and it formed a hook onto which I could attach new learning to existing knowledge. One other very important principle I used that kind of sits on the other end of the scale from the behaviorist theory of learning is hudagogy, which focuses on how to learn rather than what to learn. As software is constantly evolving and new releases happen frequently, it was not only important for my students to learn the foundations, but also where to look to find new information and support. In this case, knowing where to find the answers was more important and relevant than knowing the answers. Spending the last year learning about learning and doing it online has chiseled away some of the strong behaviorist predilections I had become so familiar with. Having to navigate the challenges and opportunities of self-directed learning has given me a better appreciation for the possibilities that can come from a constructivist approach. And now, of course, with the proliferation of data, the internet, and the global learning community, one must know how to leverage all of this effectively. So the connectivism approach to learning has much to offer adult learners as well. Take, for example, Hank Pronk. As a way to pass the time during the pandemic, Hank spent the summer building a submarine in his garage. The sub can go underwater to a depth of 400 feet and can stay submerged for 72 hours. Hank, who's not an engineer and has no building or construction experience, credits his success to the internet and YouTube. Moving forward, I also think about how my role as an educator is going to be influenced by future technology, global connectedness, and the proliferation of both information and disinformation. I ask myself, what part will I play, and what value do I bring to learning? Could artificial intelligence do a better job than me? My thoughts are that to be truly successful as an educator, I will need to embrace these newer and emergent epistemologies. That means that the teaching methods I anticipate using will be learner-centric and complemented with 21st century technology. My role as I see it will be to put the learners in the driver's seat, in control over their learning, with me riding shotgun, helping them navigate the learning landscape, acting as a guide and a companion, directing attention to the points of interest the digital information age affords us. That being said, it does not mean that the time-tested principles of these older theories are no longer valid. I truly believe that an astute educator draws from a vast repertoire of teaching methods and theories to bolster success in their students' learning. Thank you for watching.